If you follow my weekly trade calls, you must be making significant amounts of money. Well, except if you lack the ability to time entries and exit though. And if that is the case, well, we've got you covered with the Forex Professional course. Details will be in the description below. Now, let's go look at money making opportunities for next week, alright? But before we go, kindly subscribe if you are new. Also turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future fire videos. Now, thank you as you do so. So as you already know, I always start my analysis with the dollar index, alright? Since I mostly trade the majors. Now, this is the monthly time frame of the dollar index. The US dollar measures the strength or the weakness of the United States dollar. If price is going up, then we'll see a strong dollar across board, all right? And when price is falling, we see a weak dollar. It's as simple as that, all right? So I'm going to start my analysis from the monthly time frame of the dollar index. Using market structure, this zone has been tested multiple times before we broke above it. Now I'm expecting price to pull back into that area, into one of these areas, either this area or this area, before we do what? Continue pushing higher. All right, now this is the monthly time frame. Let's go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we are seeing a more recent price action here. Remember, from the monthly time frame, this is the zone I highlighted. All right, but coming to the weekly time frame, we'll see other smaller road bumps along the way, right, that we need to watch out for, so that we don't get surprised. Because if you look at the dollar index, overall we are in an uptrend, all right? So we don't want to just sell and place our sells and just forget about it, all right? We want to look out for zones that we might continue what? Buying from, all right? So now we've broken below this trend line, and the trend line has been tested using last week's, or let me say last 2 weeks candle. Then last week's candle came into this zone and what retested it, then we've kept falling. Meanwhile, I said this in our last week's video. You can go check it out. I specifically, or I literally said dollar was going to rise in the beginning part of last week and fall from Wednesday down to the end of the week, and exactly that happened. If you think I'm lying, go and look at last week's video. All right, I'm going to be tagging the video here so you can go see for yourself. I actually called the dollar short last week. So now that we've broken below this counter trend line, I expect price to keep pushing at least into this zone first. All right, then are we going to bounce up and continue buying? I guess when we get there, we are going to what? Find out. All right, but I strongly want to believe that with the momentum from the monthly time frame, we may come into this zone or into that monthly trend line I showed you earlier, which is here, before we continue what? Buying. All right, but for now, let's make money off the sell. Right, now let's go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, in fact, I even called this trade on the Telegram channel. So if you are not a member of the Telegram channel yet, the link is going to be down below. You don't want to miss, because I don't just do these weekly videos and leave it at that. I go to the Telegram channel and I trade with the community on a daily basis, all right? So that you see how I apply what I have said in the YouTube videos, right? Now, on the daily time frame, price was bouncing off this trend line, then we broke below it, and as at last week, the opening of last week, I think price was around here, or was it here? Here, yes, I think price was around here, and I said dollar was going to rise. I was actually looking at these zones when I said that, all right, with the hopes that if we break above this zone, then I'm going to start buying. All right, I'm going to start trading in favor of the US dollar. But since we failed to break above this zone that has been tested multiple times, looking left, and we actually did print a red candle at that zone, then I went to the Telegram channel and I said price was going to keep falling. All right, and that was exactly what price did. We made significant amount of money, though I placed only like 3 trades last week and they were fire. I'm going to share you screenshots. All right, so looking at the daily time frame, we've done a typical break and retest of the trend line and this broken support and this previous support here, and now we've retested it. So I'll expect for price to do keep falling to the downside. And based on the rule of trend lines, when a trend line is broken and retested, there's always this 90% chance that it is going to come back to this level, all right, where the whole move started from. where the whole trend line started from. All right, but I don't want to get ahead. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. All right, let's move from zone to zone first. Let's come into this zone. Let's see what price does there. Then if we break, we start looking for what trading opportunities to this second level target that I have plotted. The one thing you should take note of is if I put my mouse here, or let me put it here, and you look down, you will see that the last time dollar created a new high was the 26th of September. That was how many months ago? This is November, October, September. That was like 2 months ago, right? That was like 2 months ago. So that was the last time dollar made a higher high. If you understand the concept of market structure, you understand that this means something. So it's not wise buying the dollar for now. I specifically said this in last week's video. Do not buy the dollar, all right? Even if you're buying, just scalp it, all right? But some people even had to come and argue with me, but it's fine. It's fine. I have to keep proving them wrong every week, right? Now, looking at the dollar index, and we've established that okay, we are going to keep falling. Let's even go to the 4-hour time frame, because it's important to understand exactly what the dollar index is doing. So last week, this is that zone, that's daily support I showed you from the previous time frame. Now we broke below this trend line. When price was here, I actually did place a trade on the USD card. I bought it. And why did I buy? I was expecting for US dollar index to come into this trend line before we keep falling to the downside. I was actually surprised we didn't come into the trend line from this zone, because I looked at this heads and shoulders pattern, right? Inverse head and shoulders pattern rather. Then I was expecting for price to come into this trend line. Then I'll now start trading against the US dollar. So when I saw this retracement, this pullback into this zone, I was actually expecting a bounce, and I saw a very sweet trading setup on USD card, and I actually called that trade that we should buy. But guess what? We failed. We lose that trade. All right. But anyway, since we already knew what the market had in the long term, or let me say for now, we knew that dollar index was going to fall. So of course it was easy to do what bounce back. You can see the screenshots here. So those were the 3 trades we placed. I placed the trade on USD card, lost. Then we took the other trades, and they more than compensated for what the loss, all right, which is the whole essence of trading. Now on this 4-hour time frame of the dollar index, I won't be surprised if price moves sideways for the beginning of next week and come into this trend line. All right. So I won't be surprised if price move, because prices doesn't move in a straight line. After this impulsive move, there must be a period of consolidation or pullback or retracement, whatever you choose to call it. So I'll be expecting for price to come into this trend line before we keep falling to the downside. All right. But if that doesn't happen, remember in Forex we need to think in probabilities. All right. So this is a zone we might want to look out for. All right, because I might say okay, we'll come into this trend line before we start falling, and that might not happen. We may as well just break below this zone. So if that happens, let's see the break, let's see a retest, then we continue trading against the dollar, at least into this target, or into this our first level target. But for next week, 2 things is going to happen. We'll either come into this trend line before collapsing, or we'll break below this support retest before we start trading against the US dollar. All right. So now that we know what the dollar index has in mind, let's go look at gold. Let's start from the weekly time frame on gold. If you look at gold, I think it's safe to say that we are in a range. All right, because if you look from this zone to this zone, all right, this is more like a ranging market on the higher time frame anyways. So price is moving sideways. All right, so I actually predicted that price was going to come into the zone. Why? Because it has been tested multiple times here, 1 and 2. All right, so I'm expecting price to come into that zone. Last 2 weeks we closed with a bearish candlestick, and this week we've printed something like I would like to call a dodgy candle. So this signifies some sort of tug of war between buyers and seller, but buyers came out on top. So I'll expect price to keep pushing higher. Why? Let's go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, I actually sent this out on the Telegram channel. That is why, once again, if you're not on the Telegram channel, the link is going to be down below. All right, we trade every day there when we see our trading opportunities to do what, execute. And I share daily charts, all right, so that you can help. This chart helps guide your what decision or add confluences to what you already know. So I was like, I'll be expecting pullbacks in one of these zones, here or here, all right. And as it stands now, we are seeing that pullback around this zone. You might be wondering, why do I have this line here? Well, when we go to the 4-hour time frame, you'll be able to see clearly. So on the 4-hour time frame, we had a double bottom at that hour zone. Let me go back to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, I was expecting pullbacks around here or here, right? Now we came into that zone and we formed a double bottom around that zone. So this had confluences. This shows us that, okay, as a matter of fact, we are ready to do or keep pushing higher. So you might be wondering, how is this a double bottom? Well, we have different rules with which we plot our double bottoms, right? For me, a wick can go below, but a body cannot go below and close below. All right, so for the fact that it's only a week, but the body is still close above the previous bottom, which is here, the first indication, or this first zone that formed the first part of the double bottom, right? So as long as a body closed, all right, so as long as this body closed above this support here, then it is a valid double bottom. All right, let me show you how to plot these things nicely and my rules for spotting a valid double bottom even if a wick had gone below it. Now this is what I do. From the initial part of the double bottom, I try to capture from the what, from the body to what, the wick. All right, then I extend it into the future. Now price came, gave us this wick down below and then went back up and closed below this zone. So to me, this is still a valid bottom. This week is just an indication of where price had been, but this is where the bulk of the price action took place. All right, so it's still a valid double bottom. That is my rule for double bottoms and of course double tops. Now we've broken above the neckline and we've retested the neckline, and what can you spot here? A bullish engulfing candlestick. So I'll be expecting for price to keep pushing in toward this zone. We might play around for a bit. That is why your stop loss should be at least at a safe distance, just like you see me do here. All right, my stop loss is at a safe distance, and of course the take profit is around here. All right, this trade was given out in the signal group. All right, and the signal group is not a paid signal group, it's just a signal group to help those that has purchased the course. All right, so to help them gain experience while they are learning and of course make money. All right, and if possible make money with the money with which they purchase the course. So I call this trade there, and as you can see, we are in minimal profits already. So we'd like to see if our trade is going to what, play out for next week. All right, but for gold, I am bullish. Then USD JPY. Let me go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we've broken out of this channel. All right, and we've gone back to retest it, and price kept falling. I also called the attention of the traders in the Telegram channel to this. All right, so I expect price to fall into this next level target before we know what price has in mind to do. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, I also call the sell, right, when price breaks below this trend line. All right, and I actually did take the trade. I made significant amount of money from this trade, right? So I've made a lot of money from this trade. And why did I even take the trade? I actually, within this let me call it again, the signal group. All right, so we actually took this trade around here. All right, why did we take it? After the break below the trend, I started seeing something like a double top. All right, and of course in conjunction with what I was seeing on the JPY index, so I was like, oh, this is a good sign. So we took the trade and we placed our stop loss here, and boom, shot all the way to the downside. So we've closed some percentage of our profits. Okay, we've closed partials and we've broken even, so we are risk free on this trade. All right, so however, going forward, I still expect this trade to keep falling. All right, but before that happens, let me zoom out so that I'll show you something interesting. we might keep moving sideways, or in this kind of, we might go into some kind of a pullback, all right, back into this trend line. Is that going to happen? For sure, I can't say. I don't know. All right, I don't know. But two things I'm looking for. I'm either looking for a retest of this support level here, this broken support level now, and then turn it into a resistance, into one of the confluences, this Fibonacci retracement levels, or we'll go into this trend line before we fall, or we'll break below these supports to keep what selling. But overall, I'm looking for sells around either this support area that confluences with any of these Fibonacci retracement level, or this trend line area, or below this support. All right, either way, like I said earlier, I'm bearish on this pair. All right, now let's go to the US30, starting with the weekly time frame. So for the US30, let's start from the monthly time frame on the US30. I've been calling US30 bullish, all right, though it took its time at some point, confusing, of course, rookie traders, all right, thinking that, oh, it's like this thing is committed to selling, and I've been saying it's going to buy. Yes, the buy has not been clear, all right, at least for my own pattern of trading, the buy has not been clear, but I knew that up is the only place we are going, all right, provided that dollar is going to be weak. And as a matter of fact, let me even tell you a secret. Do you know US30 added more confidence? Why I'm so confident that the dollar is going to fall? I couldn't just ignore this huge bullish engulfing candlestick. I couldn't. This is a monthly time frame, for Christ's sake. So, and it's a bullish engulfing candle that we are seeing here. All right. So, and this zone has been tested multiple times before, and now we came back into that zone, got this bullish engulfing candle. So it's only normal for price to keep going up. This is not a 4-hour time frame, for Christ's sakes. Please, guys, always don't overlook little stuffs like this. All right, these are good indicators. Monthly time frames are very important time frames, just like the weekly time frames also. So after spotting this bullish engulfing candle that took out this month and this month and this month and this month, or that almost took them all out, I knew that US30 is going to keep rising, and if US30 keeps rising, then dollar has to fall. And you see that. So that was what added to my word confluence. That was why I was also more confident that dollar was going to fall. All right, and now on the weekly time frame, we've created a new higher high, right? Have we? Yeah. If you look at it, if I zoom in, we've created a new what? Higher high. All right. So now up we go, at least into this zone here. All right. But US30 has been pretty funny. Based on my trading style, it has not been giving me too many trading opportunities. That I'll try to see how we can catch this trade now that we are trading above my zone. I think buying now and putting our stop loss here will be too far, because this is where I would put my stop loss. All right, I like to put my stop loss in the safe, at a safe distance. So this is where I'll be looking to put my stop loss, but I'm not getting the vibe. Well, just join the Telegram channel. Now that we've established that we are going up for a fact, then we'll look for entry opportunities for next week. All right, once again, the link is going to be down below. All right, so just click and join the Telegram channel. All right, then let's quickly go to Euro USD. So for Euro USD, I think last 2 weeks I plotted this trend line, and I was expecting price to come into this trend line. So we played around for last week, making some inexperienced traders think that price was going to keep falling after spotting this. Well, I knew that we were going to come into this trend line, either come and reject it to keep selling or break above. But when we get there, we'll find out. But for now, I'm focused on getting to that trend line, which is my next destination. All right. So logistics has been pretty kind of slow, but I think slow and steady we are getting there. So I know some rookie traders will start looking for a double top here, guys. But anyways, be careful, guys. It's not a double top until the neckline is broken. So don't get confused, all right? Until we break below this neckline, this is not a double top. Okay, so for now I'm focused on what coming into this trend line up here. Why? Because this zone has also been tested multiple times here, remember, this is the daily time frame. So went back up, created a fake out, came down here, created a fake out. This is just a manipulation, if you ask me, and now we've gone back above it. But to filter out the manipulation, you go back to the weekly time frame, all right, and now spot this. Last week failed to close above it, but this week has successfully closed above it. And just like what I say about the footprints that markets leaves, you can see bold, big green candles to the upside with smaller red candles. So you can see how small the body of this red candle is. We just got wicks up, then a little wick down, then a very small body. So there was no much price action, just sideways movement, right? But now we have a bigger body this week. So what does that tell you? Buyers are still available in the market. All right. So being a seller right now, yes, next week might come, we can start selling. Anything can happen in the forex market. All right. Because by the way, overall we are in a bearish market. All right. But just know that there are other confluences we put in play before making a trading decision. It's not like, okay, because I said price is going to go up, then you should just hit the buy button and start buying. No, you need to look for entry reasons. All right. So if we fall and we keep selling next week, fine. At least we will know, and of course we'll look for selling opportunities. It's as easy as that. In forex, you need to think in probabilities, of course. All right. After getting the skill, you need to also think important. Know your buy zones and know your sell zones. All right. All this has been discussed in details in the Forex professional course. So if you are interested, the details is going to be down below. Or if you need more information, because there will be an announcement based on regarding discounts later in the day, you might just want to check the Telegram channel for that update. All right. So now on euro dollar, I am still bullish until we get to what the trend line. Let's see for our time frame. Yes, this is interesting. Last week I was worried about, I plotted head and shoulders here, but I was worried I wasn't going to sell. You can go and look at the end, the towards the end of last week's video I said this. So I was worried about selling because of this trend line here, so I didn't sell. All right, I wanted to buy here, but I wasn't getting clear reasons why I should buy. But when price broke above this zone, all right, breaking above this counter trend line, testing it. If I go to the 1 hour time frame, you see the retest clearly. You can see the retest here. We broke, then we retested it. Now we retested the counter trend line, the broken counter trend line, and this zone that has been tested multiple times. All right. So I entered and I put a very tight stop loss. It was an interesting trade. I took my profit around, I think here, yes. All right, before this funny thing started moving. So we are going to repeat the same process next week. We are going to see it trickle down for a bit, then we'll plot our counter trend line to look for buying opportunities into this trend line here. All right, but if that changes, if we're going to keep going short, of course I'm going to be dropping the updates in the Telegram channel, so you might want to join the Telegram channel. Now there's one important and interesting trade I want to show you guys on which is the dollar Swiss franc. This is a very interesting trade that I'm looking at. Let me go to the monthly time frame. You know, I like to look at the bigger picture before making a trading decision. Wow, I'm even just seeing this candlestick is beginning to give us that vibe why dollar is going to keep falling for next week. I mean, look at this huge candlestick. Now this is the monthly time frame. Remember, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 candlesticks, 6 months of price action that this single candlestick has successfully taken out, as you can see. So I will expect this to keep falling. Now let's go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, price is hanging on this counter trend line, and this on this trend line rather, and this support here that has been tested multiple times. All right, this trend line has also been tested multiple times. Guys, if we break this trend line, we are coming down here. All right, we are coming down here, 622 pips. All right, I'm going to be swinging this trade if this play out. All right, now we don't place trades on the weekly time frame, so we'll go to the day. Let's go to the daily time frame also to actually see what is happening. So this is a range on the daily time frame. As a matter of fact, we are still ranging, but with this impulsive move from this top to this bottom here, I expect price to do what? Finally break above and keep pushing lower. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, price opened here. That was on Friday, and I was like, if price is going to keep pushing higher, this is the area I'll be expecting a pullback from. All right, and we had that mini pullback towards the close of last week. let me go to the 1 hour time frame. So as you can see, we had that pullback. We had a pullback, then we sold off from that zone, and now I plotted this little 1 hour trend line, and price is currently reacting to that trend line. Now for next week, I won't be surprised if I see price maybe go back and come back into this zone before falling below. All right, but meanwhile, I'll be using this trend line as my guide if that happens. So if we go back up, fine and good. I'm not interested in buying. I'll only wait when price comes back and starts selling. So I'll do two things inside of this zone. Number one, I might sell if I see a good bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, or two, if we break below this trend line, I will sell. Once I sell, I'm going to hold. And once I hold, this is what I'm going to be doing. I will hold, but when price moves into this level, let's say, okay, I sell around here. Let's say I get the bearish engulfing candle and I sell around here. I get a bearish engulfing candle. If price comes back into that zone, all right, and I get a bearish engulfing candle and I sell, I'll put my stop loss here. All right, if I put my stop loss here, I will hold the trade until we get into this zone. Now, when we get into this zone, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close part of my trade and then I'm going to break even. Because don't forget, this zone, if we go back to the higher time frame, this zone is a strong zone. So you don't want to take it for granted because I said so. All right. Forex, anything can happen. This is a strong zone that has been tested on the daily time frame multiple times. All right. So it can as well be a double bottom forming. All right, so until we break, it's not yet a valid trade. So that is why I'm going to break even, close some part of my trades and watch what happens. But I'm leaning towards the fact that price is going to eventually do what? Break. All right, that's why I'll even be doing that. If not, I'm supposed to be taking all profit here, right? So I will hold. Then if I hold, I'll wait for price to do a break. Remember, this trend line is from the weekly time frame, right? Let me zoom in so that you see clearly. This trend line is from the weekly time frame. So if we break below it, then I'm going to now do what? Add to that my open position, right? I'll add with my stop loss now above here. Then I'm going to do what? Ride all these things, or all the move rather, to the downside. So this, we've come to the end of today's videos. If you like what we do here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification icon. All right, and I'm wishing us all a successful trading week. Till then, have a nice weekend. Bye.